Hi everyone, thanks for coming back to watch the second video in my automated budget spreadsheet series. If you haven't watched the first video yet, start with that one so you can see all the features this spreadsheet includes. Here's a quick recap of the three most important ones. Number 1, only input your income and expenses one time. The spreadsheet projects all your future monthly budgets for you. No need to input the dates and amounts of each of your paychecks. Number 2, enter the settings of your recurring transactions only one time. The Calendar tab auto-populates with the next year worth of future occurrence dates. You don't have to plot them on the calendar yourself. Number 3, tracking your transactions is a breeze. All you have to do is select your description from the drop-down, and the table pulls in your saved settings that you already set up on your Budget tab. If this sounds like it can help you get on top of your finances, then build this spreadsheet with me in this series so you can feel more confident about your budgeting. Or you can purchase the finished template at my Etsy link in the description. Let's get started. This is the first tutorial video that starts the step-by-step instructions, and in this video, I cover how I designed and formatted all of the tabs, coloring the cells and adding border colors, all those fine details. So if you don't need help with formatting, then you can skip to video 3 in the series. That's where I'll start showing you all the formulas. Make sure you subscribe so that you get notified when the next video in the series drops. In total, the spreadsheet has 6 tabs. So I'm going to start by just creating the tabs and giving them their names. I suggest using the same names that I do because they'll be referenced in formulas later. The first one is called Do Not Edit. The second one is Start Here. The third one is Budget Items. Number 4 is Transactions Log. I've thought about renaming number 5 to just Calendar View, but I'm just going to keep it the same for now. It's called Irregular Expenses 12-Month View. And finally, Monthly Spending Report. Now that you have your tabs all named, let's start formatting the Do Not Edit tab. The Do Not Edit tab is the place that houses all of the formulas necessary for making this spreadsheet able to do its automated features. Normally, this tab is just kept hidden, so the formatting we are doing is not for visual appeal, it's instead for organizational purposes. Each formula on this tab will have its own colored section so that it's easy to tell where each part of the spreadsheet is located. These are the formatting settings I'm going to quickly take you through, so at any time, you can pause to catch up, or you can pause here to apply these settings yourself now. You can find the Merge Cells button here. I merged the top row above each formula section to make an area where I can provide a description of what each formula does and which part of the spreadsheet it affects. Then I use row 2 for the column headers for each formula. So those top 2 rows are colored darker than the rest of the columns so that they stand out. Okay, let's get started. Select columns A through E, color them light blue. Select cells A1 through E2, color them dark blue. Merge cells A1 through E1. Select columns G through K, color them light yellow. Select cells G1 through K2, color them dark yellow. Merge cells G1 through K1. Select columns M through P, color them light pink. Select cells M1 through P2, color them dark pink. Merge cells M1 through P1. Select columns R through U, color them light orange. Select cells R1 through U2, color them dark orange. Merge cells R1 through U1. Select columns W through Z, color them light teal. Select cells W1 through Z2, color them dark teal. Merge cells W1 through Z1. Select columns AB through AJ, color them light magenta. Select cells AB1 through AJ2, color them dark magenta. Merge cells AB1 through AJ1. Select columns AL through AO, color them light green. Select cells AL1 through AO2, color them dark green. Merge cells AL1 through AO1. Select columns AQ through AR, color them light purple. Select cells AQ1 through AR2, color them dark purple. Merge cells AQ1 through AR1. Select the range AT2 through AV7, right-click, and choose Convert to Table. Name the table Journal. Finally, I will use my Control key to select every remaining white column, and when I have them all selected, I will right-click the column header, then choose Resize Column, and enter 9 pixels. That way, I have a nice visual separation between each formula section, but not too big. You will also want to right-click the tab itself and choose Protect Sheet, so that later, if you accidentally make a change in any of these cells, you will get a warning asking if you're sure you want to proceed, and you can click Cancel so you don't make any accidental changes and mess up your formulas. You don't have to do this now. If you do, it might get a bit annoying when you're actually working on the formulas in the next video with me, but it's something we'll want to remember to do when the formulas are completed. Now that you have the Do Not Edit tab all formatted, let's move on to the Start Year tab. This is a very basic tab where you set up your categories and which cards and accounts you want to track along with their starting balances. We only need 4 columns on this tab, so I'll delete the rest. Name column A Categories, column B Accounts or Card Sources, column C Balance Forward, and column D Type of Account. Let's give column A a light blue color and give A1 a dark blue color. A2 through A5 we will make a middle shade of blue. These will be for default categories that every user should keep and not edit. Let's look at the coloring of columns B through D. I am going to color code these according to the type of account, which correlates with the Transactions tab. So on the Transactions tab, I have it set up to display up to 12 accounts of each kind, although if you adjusted the formulas, you could show more than that. And you also don't have to separate the different account types on different rows. But I will show you my color coding on the Start Here tab just to remind us that the Transactions tab is currently only set up to display 12 of each account type, so we won't enter more than that. So B2 through D13 will be a light green for checking accounts, B14 through D25 will be a middle shade of green for savings accounts, B26 through D37 will be a light red for credit accounts, and B38 through D49 will be a darker shade of red for debt accounts. We will configure the drop-down of column D in the next video. For now, I'll just change my font settings. For this spreadsheet, I use the Comforta font, and I can make the header row font a little bigger. So that's all for the Start Here tab. Very simple. Now we can move on to the Budget Items tab. First, we will set up the dashboard. We will configure any necessary drop-downs in the next video. For now, we'll just type any cells that have static labels. Begin by hiding columns A through C. These will be used for formulas later. In cell D1, type Primary Income. I am paid. In D2, type Each paycheck I earn. In F1, type On. In F2, type First Pay Date. Select D1, D2, F1, and F2 and change the cell color. I am using a dark blue theme for my spreadsheet, but you can choose any colors you would like. Change the font type, color, and size. I used Comforta White size 11. Center the text. Select D1 through G2 and give cell borders of a light gray color on all borders. Now, just on the outer borders, let's give a thicker, darker gray border. Still selecting D1 through G2, Control C for copy and paste into D4 through G5, and again into I4 through L5. Change D4 and I4 to say secondary income and tertiary income. Adjust the column widths. Merge the cells in I1 through J2. Label this space Planned Monthly Savings Contribution. And I colored this one green so it stands out from the income entries. Select I1 through K2 and give a thicker dark gray border. Select D7 through N12 and color the cells. Apply the same font settings as your income entries section. Adjust D9 through D11 to be left justified, but keep the rest of these cells centered. Select D7 through N12 and give a thicker dark gray border. Merge cells D14 through N14. Label this section Income and give it a medium color. It doesn't have to be blue. Label D15 as primary income, D16 as secondary income, and D17 as tertiary income. Merge cells D28 through N28. Label this section Expenses. Give it the same medium color as row 14. Label D30 as monthly expenses and label D31 as variable monthly expenses. Merge cells D42 through N42 and label this section Savings. Label D54 as budgeted remaining and label D55 as actual remaining. Select cells E15 through N17, E29 through N31, E43 through N43, and E54 through N55 to give them a lighter color that matches your color scheme. We're coloring these cells to indicate that they will have formulas in them and should not be edited. Select D14 through N55 and give a light gray border on all cell borders. Then give a thicker dark gray border just on the outside borders. Also give this thicker border around D14 to N27, D28 to N41, D42 to N53, and D54 to N54, just to make each section of the dashboard clearly separate. Now you've finished the dashboard, so let's move on to the tables on this tab. Merge cells D59 through G59 and label this section Variable Expenses Budget per Month, No Reminders. For all of the merged sections above tables, you can give those any label you would like. But if you change the name of the actual table, you'll have to remember to use your table name in the formulas in the next video. Select cells D60 through G76 and right-click to convert to a table. Name this table Variable _ Expenses. It's not too important how many rows your tables have right now, because you can always add or remove rows from the tables later. Give your table columns these names: description, category, type, budgeted amount. Also convert H60 through N76 to a table. Name this table monthly _ expenses. And merge cells H59 through N59 and label this section monthly expenses no reminders. Give this table these headers: description, payee, category, type, withdrawal source, day of the month, budgeted amount. Choose a color scheme for your tables and make the merged sections above each of them match. Select F78 and G78 and give these cells a lighter color that matches your variable expenses color scheme. Label F78 as total. G78 will have a formula later. Do the same thing for M78 and N78. Match the color of your monthly expenses table. Now we will create the recurring expenses tables. For the first one, merge cells E80 through N80, and the table will cover the range E81 through BR98. You will have to add more columns. Columns O through BR will be hidden later, but we will need them for formulas. Name this table Irregular Expenses. Label your total cell in M89 and give M89 and N89 a matching color. Give the same lighter color to N82 through BR98 to indicate that these cells contain formulas and should not be edited. We're going to set up that same table again below. The top one will autofill the calendar, this one will not. So merge cells E91 through N91 and label them Auto Ships No Reminders, and convert range E92 to BR98 to a table. Give this table the name Auto Ships. Label M100 as total and give M100 and N100 a color matching this table. Give the same color to range N93 through BR98. For both the Irregular Expenses table and the Auto Ships table, give the columns these headers: description, payee, category, type, withdrawal source, amount, frequency, duration, first date, and amount to save per month. It's important to keep the table headers exactly the same as I have them here because they will be used in formulas in the next video. Only one more table to go. Merge cells I102 through N102. Convert I103 through N109 to a table. Name this table Transfers and give the columns these headers: description, deposit, /withdrawal. It will be important to know if you put a space before and after the slash, because in formulas it will have to be typed exactly the way that you type it here. After deposit /withdrawal, the next column should be category, amount, type, source. This table does not need a total row. Let's give all of our tables the thicker dark gray border on the outside cell borders, and we can do that with the total rows below each table too. Finally, all the remaining cells we can color in a light gray color for a background to make our tables pop. And if we select View, Show, and unselect grid lines, it makes our sheet look really nice. The buttons I am going to save for a video all on their own. So now we're ready to begin the Irregular Expenses 12-month View tab. First, merge cells F1 through I1 and K1 through N1. Color them and give borders, and label F1 Choose Current Month Preference. K1 will be a drop-down that we will configure in another video. What we will do is set up the square for 1 month and then copy and paste it 11 times. So select A3 through D4 and color these cells. Merge A3 and B3, and merge C3 and D3. These will be formulas later. Label row 4 as description, day, amount, and source. Now we will set up the total row. You get to decide how many transactions you want to be able to display for a given month. I have mine set up for a maximum of 7 per month, but if you want more, then you can do that too. So if you keep it at a maximum of 7 like mine, the total row will go in row 12. But if you wanted 10 transactions to be displayed, for example, the total row would go in row 15. But one of the formulas on this tab will tell you how many transactions you have in the displayed month. So if your calendar only shows 7 in the given month, but you actually have 10 scheduled, the calendar will give you a visual warning to alert you of that. So you still won't accidentally miss transactions. Okay, so I will merge A12 and B12 and give it a lighter color. Then I will label C12 as total and color both C12 and D12 the darker color. Now I give a thick dark gray border around A3 through D12. Now I can just copy and paste this square, skipping 1 column and 1 row in between each square. Finally, in row 36, or whatever your bottom row is if you have made your squares bigger, I will color that row a dark color and I will merge cells A through R and label them 12-month total and right justify the text. For this whole tab, I'll use the same font settings as my budget items tab. And I can color the background cells light gray and change the columns and rows between each square to size 9 pixels. And now this tab is done. Next up is the Transactions tab, so let's start by hiding column A. Honestly, I was trying to use column A as a helper column for a feature a while ago, and it wasn't working out, and now it's been so long, I forget what I was trying to do with it in the first place. But the script that runs on this page is set up knowing that the data in the table starts in column B, so I'm just gonna keep column A hidden, and maybe in the future I can figure out something cool to do with it. Okay, so merge B1 through N1 and give a dark color, and label it Transaction Log and Account Balances. Now select C3 through N4 and give a dark color, and also set your font settings. Merge C3 through E3 and label it Checking Minus Credit Accounts, and merge G3 through I3 and label it Total Net Worth. Select B6, B7, B9, B10, B12, B13, B15, and B16, and give those a dark color. For the same rows in columns C through N, give those cells a light color. Label the rows in column B as Checking Accounts, Final Balance, Credit Accounts, Final Balance, Savings Accounts, Final Balance, and Debt Accounts, Final Balance. Make row 18 really wide. This is where your chart and graph will go later. And B19 through J100 we will convert into the transactions table. Of course, you'll end up adding more rows to this table later, so you can give it as many as you want. Name the table Transactions and give it these headers: date, description, payee, deposit/withdrawal, amount, category, type, source, and reconciled. Make your reconciled column into a checkbox column, and the other dropdowns we will configure in a future video. Now, just color the background cells gray and remove grid lines, and you're all set to go on the Transactions tab. Okay, you finally made it to the very last segment of this video, the Monthly Spending Report tab. And this one starts similar to the Do Not Edit tab, where we're going to set up a few columns just to house formulas. So columns A through D, color pink, merge A1 through D1 with a darker pink color. Columns F through I color blue, merge F1 through I1 with a darker blue color, and columns K through N color yellow and merge K1 through N1 with a darker yellow color. We can make E, J, and O smaller, and then we'll go ahead and hide all of those columns. In column P, just label P1 as chart colors, and I'll tell you more about this section in a future video. So let's make some nice designated places for our charts to go. So merge R1 through W1 and give it the same dark pink color you gave columns A through D, and label it 50-30-20 breakdown all transactions. Then R2 through W12 give the light pink color from A through D, and then this whole section will give the thick dark gray border. We're going to do the same thing for the next two chart areas, but the comparison month needs a hidden column, so we'll use one additional column this time. Select Y1 through AE1 and color the dark blue from F through I. Label 50-30-20 current month and give Y2 through AE12 the light blue color. Give the dark border again. And finally merge Y14 through AE15, give the dark yellow color from K through N, label it 50-30-20 comparison month. Merge Y16 and Z16, give a medium yellow color, and label this select month. Merge AC16 and AD16, give a medium yellow color and label it Enter Year. Select Y16 through AE16 and give a small gray border around all borders. Now select Y17 through AE27 and give the light yellow color. Add our dark gray border around the whole square. And the last thing to do with these is label in R12, Y12, and Y27 need, label T12, AA12, and AA27 want, and label V12, AD12, and AD27 savings. And we can also hide column AB. I won't do any formatting right now on the pivot table side of things because there's not much, and it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to do that right now when there is no pivot table yet. So I'm going to save that part for the Reports tab video in the future. And congratulations, if you have made it this far, truly great job to you. I know it is a lot of work, but when it's all done, it can be so satisfying, especially when you start seeing the results in your bank account and feeling more confident about your budgeting. If you prefer, you can always purchase the completed template at my Etsy link in the description. So thank you so much for sticking with me through this video. If you're enjoying this series, please give a like and a subscribe so you can help others find this series, and you'll be notified when future videos are released. The next one starts the really fun stuff, the formulas, where all the action happens, so I hope you'll join me for it.